Angels. In an age of reason, no scientific facts can prove their existence. But for some people, no scientific proof is needed. For them, seeing is believing.
They appeared as light, shapes, different shapes of light with almost effervescence behind the color of light that they would appear as. And it looked almost as if they were wings. And there would seem to be facial features in the colors and the shapes. Nothing very definitive, but just enough to evoke a stirring within me, if you will.
The details of the vision was like a super real painting. I saw an angel walking across a room. There was a high ceiling in this room, but the angels were walking counter to gravity. Yes, there were wings, and it just sort of floated through the air. It was walking, and yet it wasn't walking. It was just being transported right across. It was so real. It was the most outstanding experience I'd ever had.
I see lights. I see purple, white, blue. It's like a kaleidoscope in my mind. And I know that my angel is present because I can feel the warmth and the comfort and the extreme peace.
I've seen them in what I call gossamer formations. Not as, angels have not come to me as clearly as solid flesh and blood yet. The beings tell me that they will begin to appear that way to many, many, many people on the planet within the next year or two. That the veil between dimensions is becoming so thin and is being lifted on purpose that we will be able to commune with them continuously and often.
I feel that angels are light beings and that they, for want of a language to describe, they're very elastic because they're not limited to any form. They can manifest any form that they wish.
Sight alone is not the only way angels reveal themselves. Even when angels have no visible form, they can still make their presence felt.
I was crying, and then all of a sudden I felt this hand on my forehead. Just stroking my forehead and saying, "Be at peace, Ellen. Everything's okay. Everything will work out." And there was a light around me. And I had this incredible sense of peace that just came over me. And I knew that I was in the presence of an angel. And I just went to sleep, and I slept like I had never slept, like I was in my mother's arms as a small child again.
When I get the feeling of the presence of the angels, it makes me laugh. They do really funny things. You know, when I get maybe too serious with myself or think I'm really important, they'll trip me in some form. And so they're always reminding me to laugh.
There was no verbal speaking, only an intuitive feeling that would come through them that I would get. There was no speaking, just that their presence was there and that they were real.
I'm not a scientist or a metaphysical scientist even. I'm an artist, but I feel like I know things intuitively. And I call that knowing, unitive knowing, not knowing about things, not the kind of knowing that's based on book learning. It's like a response of a woman when she says, "I know." She says, "I know from intuition." And you bet you'll find out that she's right?
It's the angel is that essence of peace, of love, of joy. It's that feeling of completeness, of wholeness. It's the knowing that I'm not here by myself.
Once you connect with your angels, they're an ongoing process in your life. They're always there. And once you do connect with them, you can't picture your life without it.
And the beautiful thing about an angel experience when you have it is that, first of all, no matter if it's a state of intense trauma or intense joy, and I've had those too, you're always left with this utter sense of gratitude and this utter sense of peace that transcends anything I can ever explain in words, to do it justice. And you know that you have been in the presence of God's helpers. You know the intensity of God's love.
To many, angels form that crucial bridge that connects humans to God.
I feel like it's all one consciousness, and that what I'm experiencing is part of that, and that the angels are the intermediate between the consciousness of God and the consciousness that we experience as human beings.
In coming in contact with the angelic realm, my faith, my intensity in serving God has been, it's been just magnified 10 times. What I see that this devotion to God and this acceptance of his assistance through angelic presence, it does for you. It allows miracles to happen. I believe in miracles. There's not any order of difficulty in small miracles or large miracles, because I've had them all happen.
Messengers from God, beings of light, divine guardians, all intellectual attempts to define angels. But sometimes the easiest way to comprehend angels is to simply tell a child what they are.
I think if I were telling a child what an angel is, and I talk to my children about this even today, although they're mostly grown, that there's a loving, guiding presence that we can't see, that is with us every step of our journey in this life and others, and that essence is there to help us just for the asking. All we have to do is ask, and that essence is always with us.
An angel is this beautiful light being that is watching over you, that is spreading its wings and helping you to fly, guarding over you, and helping you on your path.
They're like people that you can't see with your naked eyes, but they're around. You can feel their presence. And they're here to help and protect you.
I would tell a child, angels are our dearest friends, and that they are there to make you feel safe when you're scared. They're there to make you feel love when maybe you're not too sure that love's present. They're there to make you know that you're never, never, never alone, and that all you have to do is ask.
I would very likely take the child into my arms and tell him exactly how much I loved him and hold him very tight and just let him know a mother's love. And then I would remind him that there's someone who loves you so much more than I know how to love you and has given you this beautiful being that came with you when you were born to take care of you and to walk with you and to keep you safe when you're in position that I'm not there to be with you and will always be with you for as long as you live.
There is at least one child that needs no explanation of what an angel is. She's already met one.
I said to her, you know, in order for you to come into this life and be born from mommy's tummy, and you had to leave that life, that meant that you had to have died. And she simply said, oh, yes. And I went, oh, really? Heart pounding, not believing that I'm having this conversation with a 3.5-year-old child. She goes on to, I said, well, if you died, do you remember what happened? And she went on to relate the story of how she was walking in a park.
And I heard, a noise, and I heard footsteps. And I turned around and I saw the gun. And he laughed, and he smiled, and I saw his braces, and then he shot me. And that's when the darkness came. When I saw the braces and I saw the gun, I was so afraid. When he shot me, I was in the darkness, I was afraid. But once I saw the angel, it was like, and she smiled at me, it was like my fear started to go away. Her wings were enormous. They were very big, and they were as big as her. They came down to her feet. They went to the floor, very far out and wide, and she seemed like she was so light, you know. She wasn't like standing almost, you know. She was like in air, you know. Then she touched me, and I felt so safe, and the love and the warmness, and it was just, you know. And when she sent me into that light, it was just like so wonderful. This is what happened in between my past life and my life now. I believe she was sending me into my other life, into the light.
This 3.5-year-old child, she had never seen movies. She had never, you know, maybe, you know, at first it fit. I felt it in here. This was not a story. This was not a fib. This was not a fabrication of imagination. This was reality. It was total reality.
The angel that sent me in the light, she changed my life, telling me that it was okay to die. So now I know I could die any minute and I won't be afraid.
Death. Should we be afraid of dying? Or is death merely a natural continuation of life? People who work with the dying often believe we have nothing to fear.
What we do, what a lot of us believe, the hospice nurses, is that we are facilitators for dying patients and their families. We help them stay in their homes. We help them with remembering how to do the dying process. I believe that it's a really primal thing, that it belongs to the families, that it belongs to people who love you. And I also think it's an old memory, and that we've lost that memory. And the hospice movement is about teaching, it's sort of a grassroots movement. It's about teaching us how to do this again, how to take back what belongs to us.
My goal with my children, all the children that I see, my number one goal is to keep them comfortable at all costs. Pain-free, nausea-free, symptom-free. And I think if I can do that with the scientific ways, the medicines and the oxygen and things like that, I think that frees them up, that they don't have to focus on their physical body. They can focus on the spiritual stuff.
By working with the dying, hospice nurses gain an insight into death and the opportunity to witness the signs of a life beyond our own.
I had one gentleman 3 months after I started working in hospice. I thought, I can't do this anymore. This is just too much. I'm going to get burned out, or it's just too stressful. And so just as I was really trying to debate whether I was going to leave this field or not, I had an experience that just kind of blew me away. And one of the LPNs came up to me and said, Mr. So-and-so just died. And so I took that information and we said, all right, we'll call the physician and call the coroner and get all the information that we need. And I was walking down the hall making bed checks and sure everybody was okay. And this one old fellow was climbing out of bed. He was really out of pain control. And I was thinking, you know, we need to just get him settled down. And I walked into the room and I said, let me help you get taken care of. And he said, I got to get out of here. And I said, I understand, you know. And he said, I have to die. And I said, you know, I would probably want to die too if I had that much pain. And let me help you. Let me see what we can do. He said, no, you don't understand. He said, I have to die. And I said, well, I don't know where it came from. And I said, well, you have to wait till you get your own invitation. Sometimes just because we want to die doesn't mean we get to die. We have to wait until it's time. Well, that guy down there just got his invitation. He said, I knew him from Lyman. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, he just shuffled by here. And hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I said, I thought that was a curious term, shuffle by. And he said, I want you to go get my son. He said, I knew him. I knew him from Lyman when we were kids. And he said, and he just shuffled by, and he points from his door to the window and how it crossed in front of his bed. And I thought, boy, there's a lot I don't know yet.
I had a kid that I lost last week who saw horses, that he saw a horse. And his dream was about 2 weeks before he died. He was on this big brown horse. And they were going through this field, and it was very smooth. It wasn't like a gallop, but they weren't flying. And he said that all of a sudden they kind of jumped over a barrier, and when they landed in a riverbank that had overflowed its beds. And it stopped. The horse stopped and turned sideways, waiting for this kid to tell him which way to go, whether to go into the woods or out of the woods. And I asked him which way he chose, and he said, well, we went out. And I said, what do you think would have happened if you'd gone into the woods? He said, I think I'd have been gone. And I told him I thought he would too. And I told him that horse would probably come back for him. When it was time for him to go, that horse would be the one to come back. Well, that afternoon, his mom was washing dishes, and the horse came. And she went to talk to him, and she asked David if his horse was there, and he said yes. And she said, I think he's probably here to get you. And she said, I think so too. And within 2 hours, he had gone. He had died on his horse.
You feel a presence. You feel something is in the room. You know that there's something there. And one time there was this man, and he was really, really close to death. And he was very, very weak. And he looked up, and he was looking at something, and he looked very, very scared. And the nurse said to him, it's okay. They're there to help you. They won't hurt you. And he put his hand up. And he had his hand up like somebody was holding it. And he did this for a few minutes. And there is no way this man had the strength to hold his hand up by himself. And he died just a few minutes later, too. So there's something.
I had one really neat fellow that we were taking to the hospice unit, and he was really close to dying, and his son was nearby. This poor guy went through an incredible bath from the nurse, and he didn't move at all, didn't even blink an eye. So we would say he was unresponsive. And as we were walking down the hall, pushing his bed down the hall, he opened his eyes, and he looked straight up, and his little toothless mouth, and he went, and waved, and then just smiled and closed his eyes, and 5 minutes later he was gone. I don't know who he was waving at, but that's not uncommon.
As death approaches, patients may have visions of angels or see tunnels of white light. Other people receive angelic comfort from someone they already know.
Patients who are closer to their dying time will see those who have already died, oftentimes. They'll talk about dead grandparents sitting at their bedside, brothers who have died before. I'm not so certain that we just see spirits running around. I don't really believe that. I've never heard anything that scary, but I have heard of a lot of patients who are very afraid of dying talk about seeing a father-in-law in the kitchen. And that would scare me out of my mind, but they're not afraid. And it really made me realize about how they're just sort of drifting to the other side. They have 1 foot here and 1 foot somewhere else. And a patient who's very frightened will tell you that. And yet for some reason it doesn't bother them. That bothered me.
Mary was a 52-year-old woman. She had Lou Gehrig's disease. And it was getting pretty bad. She was pretty close to death, and the muscles in her throat were closing up. They weren't working very well. And she had this fear that she was going to drown, which is essentially was a real possibility for her. And one of her last wish was that her mother not be told. Her mother was 90 years old, and her mother, she liked to be called Grandma Rose, and she just said, this is too hard for a mother to go through, to watch a child die, and especially the way I'm dying. I don't want my mother to know. Now, the family was in conflict with this, but it was her last wish, so what could they do? And then the story, as Grandma Rose tells me, is she lived in Texas, and one night she went to bed. She was getting into bed, and she saw her husband standing there. And her husband had been dead for 20 years. But she says that he was as real to her her as I am to you. And he said, Rose, I've come to take Mary home. And at that point, Grandma Rose, she just started to scream and said, no, no, please, let me go back and hold my baby one more time. Don't take her until I've gone and I've held her and I've said goodbye and I've kissed her. Please don't do that. And so he just kind of smiled and faded away. And she knew at that point that he would allow that. So she got on the next plane and she came to Denver. And for 3 days, she stayed with her daughter. And she told her stories, and she combed her hair, and she gave her baths, and she was holding her daughter when she died, and I was there, and she just looked at me, and she said, you know, I brought her into the world, and it's only right that I'm with her when she goes out. And that would have never happened if Mary's husband wouldn't have come to her and told her that he was taking her home.
Like one person said to me, "Oh, it's easy for you to say it's going to be peaceful. You're not going to die." You know, and you know, you're right. All I know is what I see, and all I know is that somewhere along the line, you're not going to be afraid anymore. Somewhere in those last hours, it's going to go away. Yeah. Somebody will throw you a lifeline. It'll be okay.
Humans may not be the only ones comforted when they die. Some people believe animals receive angelic escorts as well.
This woman had taken her cat in to be put to sleep. And the vet asked her if she wanted to stay while she put it to sleep. And she says, no, I'll wait out in the reception hall. And when you do put her to sleep, then just come and tell me. Well, while she was sitting there, she was looking out the window. And all of a sudden, she sees this white figure, this angel, come down, and she's cradling a cat in her arms. And she said, I knew it was my cat. And when the angel turned around, the face of the angel was a cat, the face of a cat. So she went into tears, and then naturally the vet came in and said he had just put the cat to sleep. So anyone that has an animal can know that their soul is taken back by angels that do care for the animals.
The peace and comfort the dying receive from angels can be witnessed, but the angels' messages are often kept from the living.
This lady changed very quickly and began the dying process, and I put her on a Dilaudid drip because she was having a great deal of pain and respiratory difficulty. And so I walked into her apartment one morning, and when she was closer to her dying time, and I said to her, you know, how you doing? And she was aphasic. She couldn't speak all of a sudden, but her face was still moving around, her eyes were moving. And I thought, what's wrong with her? And she kept looking behind me, around me, and I thought, oh darn, the medicine's made her paranoid. What's going on? And so I walked and I sat on her bedside and took her hands and I said, you know, are you okay? And she just kept moving and then looked real fast by me, and I said, you know, are you frightened about something? And she, you know, she shook her head, kept watching me, and I said, and then it occurred to me, I said, are they here? Are your angels here? And she moved her head up and down and shook and said, like that really big smile on her face and eyes really bright, and she kept watching. And I said, are you frightened? And she said, no. She shook her head, no. And shortly after that, just got real peaceful. And she died in the next 24 hours. But this lady was as clear as bells. She couldn't speak. And I've seen that before. Sometimes they start to tell you things and then all of a sudden they just stop. It's almost as though we're not meant to know as much as we want to know.
I had one child who was 4 years old, and her angels came in a car, which I thought was really cute. But she had seen the light, and in the light was this car with these two people in it. And I asked her, I said, do you know who these people are? And she had that real nice, dreamy, starways, just faraway look, and she said, yeah, I do know who they are. And I said, can you tell me who they are? And she said, no. And I said, in other words, you know who they are, but you can't put it into words. And she said, yeah. And as she got closer to dying, that car came with those two people in it. You know, a lot more often.
Angels. As the end of the century approaches, more and more people feel their presence. What could be the reason for this gathering of angels?
People that I talk to, people who I mention angels to, there is a connection. Unlike anything that I've ever seen, people that I've known for many, many years now are very receptive to angels and the fact that there is a spiritual wave that seems to be happening.
The angels, I believe, are coming in to en masse. They've always been here, but they're making themselves known more because people are open to being helpful, to wanting the shift in the planet, to having more unconditional love around.
It appears to me, from my own personal experience, is that we're being given more help to get through the changes that seem to be happening around us, ways of being strengthened, ways of being centered, ways of knowing what's real. And I believe that if we focus more on helping one another, on service, that we can indeed impact the world. And we take up our little space and we make a difference, but you send out the ripples.
More and more people are having experiences with their angels. And I believe that's happening because Mother Earth needs to heal. And I believe that's our mission, is to be able to work with the angels, be able to heal Mother Earth so that all of us can heal in this process of getting back to the one.
The angels will help, but they cannot do anything. They are telling you to help them. So if you help a little bit, they'll do the rest, and then the world will be better.
Angels are our greatest gift, and at the same time our greatest mystery. How can we learn to allow the great love of the angels into our lives? How do we begin to recognize the aid and guidance that is ours just for the asking? In this show, The Gift of Angels, you and I together will explore with leading angel experts just how to make contact with our guardian angels. We will see that not only is it possible to make contact with our angels, but that they are, in fact, patiently waiting for the moment when we do.
The following program, The Gift of Angels, is a paid advertisement for the Angel Guideline, brought to you by the Calling Card Company, Incorporated. Do you believe angels exist?
I guess I've lived this long, so I probably do have an angel looking over me. Yeah, there's got to be some sort of a guardian angel.
What do they look like?
My angel looks like me, but he's white and has little wings, you know.
What can they do for you?
Well, I feel like I'm never alone. I always feel somebody's there by my side to walk with me and guide me.
Is there really someone out there who may guide you to health, happiness, and personal security? Finally, there's an exciting new service that may help you discover who your own guardian angels are, how to make contact with them, and what you can expect them to do for you. Stay tuned to explore with us the possibility of meeting your angel. As award-winning actress and best-selling author, Mariette Hartley presents The Gift of Angels.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to The Gift of Angels. Today, more than ever before, people are reporting contact with angels. That sound crazy? Well, listen to this. In 1993, according to a leading magazine, a national poll was taken concerning people's belief in angels. An astonishing 69% said they believed in angels. But what was even more amazing was that 32% actually claimed to have contact with angels. I believe everyone can have an angel. In fact, I feel as if I have a guide that's with me at all times. Whenever times get tough, there is a constant reminder, if you really look for it, that angels are all around. And today there is a remarkable group of gifted counselors whose sole aim is to help you make contact with your very own guardian angel. We call them Angels Counselors. This service is called the Angel Guideline. Let me bring on one of the world's recognized angel authorities to tell you about it. Besides being an authority on angels, she is a world-renowned astrologer and celebrity who writes for top publications in the United States and Great Britain. In fact, her wisdom has been translated into 13 different languages. She has also made numerous national and international radio and television appearances. Please join me in welcoming Letitia Parma. Hello, Letitia. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here.
Now, everyone knows you're an astrologer with an uncanny record for accuracy, but your work with angels started long before.
Yes, I'd always been aware of the presence of angels or guides, but the first time they manifested themselves to me in what you might call physical form was when I was 21. Well, I was with friends in an upper-story apartment, and the building caught on fire. And I was trying to escape. I ran down the stairs. I was terrified. But in running down the stairs, I was running further into the smoke, and soon I couldn't breathe at all. And I collapsed on the floor and gave up. And then out of the blackness, I was just lifted up and taken to safety. And then I realized all around me was a host of angels.
What an incredible story. But that brush with death must have had a profound effect on you.
In fact, it really changed my life, because I realized from that moment that I was here to help other people. You know, we live in an age when people are feeling overwhelmed by what's going on around them. They feel disconnected and alone, and I feel our angels are standing by ready to help us.
That's why I would like to give you my very special Mariette Hartley angel pin. Isn't that pretty? Just to remind you that you're never alone.
Thank you very much. I'll put it on right away.
I always wear my pin because it's a reminder to me that my angels are always there to guide me.
Stay tuned for more on The Gift of Angels.
Angels are spirits. You don't see them, but you have a feeling that they're there.
If we don't believe in angels, the world would really be a very scary place.
Joining us today is Heather, one of our gifted angels counselors, who will tell some of our audience members how they may contact their angels and how their angels may help them.
I'd like to hear if anybody has a problem a specific problem that they would like resolved. Is there anybody here? You're going to have to come to me. Tell me your name.
Beth.
This is Heather. This is Beth.
Hello, Beth.
Hi.
Come on up, honey. Yeah.
My problem is that my husband and I have been married 3 years, and we're thinking about starting a family, and it's something we've always sort of planned towards, and this is when we're ready. But now I'm wondering if we're ready, because we kind of want to spend some time, just the two of us, and I just finished school, and so it's been a hectic 3 years. So.
Right. Yeah, if you want to start a family now, I understand your hesitation, but I don't have any kind of warning signal from your guide.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
It's a good thing. I got a very strong image of a young boy and a girl. I think the girl's coming first, but they're both waiting for you.
Great, that's so exciting. Do we have time for more? Come on up. Hi, honey. What's your name?
My name is Rebecca.
Okay. And you have a particular problem that you want resolved?
Yeah, me and my dad are not getting along right now, and he's not really approving of what I choose to do with my life.
As far as your angel and where your angel can help, she's in your corner as far as soothing your father. Believe it or not, she has a lot of interaction with your father, too. Talk to your angel for comfort. Realize your angel is helping your father get comfortable with the situation, and do what you need to do.
Does she have a name, this angel?
First thing I thought of was Sarah. Was there a Sarah in your family?
Oh my God! A long time ago, I had a dream. There was this angel. It looked like an angel, but I never used the word angel. I used the word entity.
Right.
In my dream, there was a little girl with long blonde hair, and she was laying in a bed, and she told me that her name was Sarah.
Okay.
That is so strange. Oh my God.
I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill. I love that. Wow. Oh my God.
Stay tuned for more on The Gift of Angels.
I know I have someone to guide me and protect me wherever I'm going, make sure nothing bad happens to me.
It's a beautiful, warm, affectionate, indescribable feeling.
I have definitely sensed the presence of a very special spirit at times.
Are you tired of feeling alone in this crazy mixed-up world? Are you confused about where to direct your life? Do you feel powerless in relationships? Have you ever wished that you had a friend who was always there for you and knew exactly what to do in any situation? Well, you do. Each and every one of us can find our own angel right now. The Angel Guideline has live angel counselors standing by to show you how to do it, step by step.
When you call the Angel Guideline, we'll help you to learn who your angels are, how to make contact with them, and what you could count on your angel to do for you. Whether you have a question regarding love, your job, your health, or even if you're ready to make a big change in your life, angel counselors are standing by, ready to help. Whenever the need arises, we'll be with you every step of the way, guiding you to perhaps the most extraordinary relationship of your life.
Imagine never being lonely or frightened again. Too good to be true? All it takes is a phone call. Call the Angel Guideline. You owe it to yourself to find out.
Call now. Our live angels counselors are standing by to give you profound, deep personal advice and guidance to help you contact your angel. And as our gift to you, we'll send you this beautiful Marriott Hartley angel pin. Pick up the phone and call now.
She told me that my guardian angel was a father figure or, a twin, someone young like myself. And when I was young, my father had died. So that's the first thing I thought of. She also told me that I could be going to school out west. And since high school, I've been wanting to go to Arizona State, and she hit that right on the head. It's really good to know that whenever, I need to talk to somebody, I can call my angel guide and talk to her, and she can really help me.
Every morning when I wake up, I thank my angels, and I intercede with my angels. All throughout my day, little things that happen that I know that they are there with me, or they've interceded in some way that's gotten me through something or out of something or managed to bring things together for me. I always say thank you.
Welcome back to the Gift of Angels with Marriott Hartley.
Now we have an even greater surprise in store today.
What is it?
Well, if seeing is believing is your personal credo, then our next guest should appeal to you. We have someone with us today that can reveal to anyone their personal guardian angel. As a matter of fact, she's done it over 10,000 times. Her name is Ernestine Klein, and this is her story.
1975, I had a very special experience with my guardian angel. This magnificent being in white appeared to me with beautiful white hair and in just a radiant, glowing light. He gave me the name Ishma. And it was like thunder almost, and 7 times, so I really understood the name. And so after that encounter, my whole life began to change.
An artist in her spare time, angels started to affect Ernestine's artwork. And angels began appearing in her paintings. And when they appeared, they brought messages of understanding. Then something startling began to happen to Ernestine.
And then I found that I was able to see other people's angels. And so I began to paint them for them. And they would bring messages to them through me. And this was about 1980. And so for the last 14 or 15 years, I've probably brought through 10,000 angels for different people.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you join me in welcoming none other than Ernestine Klein. Ernestine, what wonderful work you're doing for other people, but are the angels still working in your life?
Oh, yes, Mariette. They help me make positive changes in my life, and they've helped me to make dreams come true. I'm happier than I've ever been, and I'm successful. And the angels even gave me the opportunity to be on this show.
Aren't angels wonderful?
It's really amazing what they can do when we trust them.
Now, your artwork is beautiful, because I know you've already drawn my guardian angel, which you will all get a chance to see. But I want you to sketch someone else's guardian angel. Would you? Okay,
yes.
Good. How about these 3 right here? These 3. Would you like to see your guardian angels? All right, Ernestine? We'll begin with you. Huh? Okay. Now, how do we do this? How does this work?
It takes a couple of minutes. I get an impression of the energy, and then it will reveal itself in the colors on the paper.
Oh.
And what is your name?
Yes, my name's Rick.
Rick. So you would like to see your guardian angel?
Yeah.
Or angel? Rick, you have the magnificent presence with you, a very strong male presence with a Native American image. This is one who has come to be with you to help you through some major shifts and changes. I see you moving out into a new direction, and he is here to give you encouragement and kind of break the trail for you. He wears a red headband, which tells me that the integrity is a major issue, and that is something that is very important to you and will have a great deal of influence on how you manage your affairs. But he's here to help you, and it's important for you to know that, because this is one that you can actually talk to and you can build a relationship with him, and he can become one of your greatest friends. And when things are kind of tough, you have a rough day, just sit down and talk to Red Sun, because that's his name.
Someone behind you. Well, Ernestine, we're going to let you continue your work, and while we give our audience at home a chance to call the Angel Guideline. This phone call may change your life. It may help answer any questions, and it may give you the solutions to any problems you have. So call now. When we come back, we're going to see Ernestine's sketches, of course, have another live Angels Counselor phone call, and hear an amazing angel story.
I know I have someone to guide me and protect me wherever I'm going, make sure nothing bad happens to me.
It's a beautiful, warm, affectionate, indescribable feeling.
I have definitely sensed the presence of a very special spirit at times.
Are you tired of feeling alone in this crazy mixed-up world? Are you confused about where to direct your life? Do you feel powerless in relationships? Have you ever wished that you had a friend who was always there for you and knew exactly what to do in any situation? Well, you do. Each and every one of us can find our own angel right now. The Angel Guideline has live angel counselors standing by to show you how to do it, step by step.
When you call the Angel Guideline, we'll help you to learn who your angels are, how to make contact with them, and what you could count on your angel to do for you. Whether you have a question regarding love, your job, your health, or even if you're ready to make a big change in your life, angel counselors are standing by, ready to help. Whenever the need arises, we'll be with you every step of the way, guiding you to perhaps the most extraordinary relationship of your life.
Imagine never being lonely or frightened again. Too good to be true? All it takes is a phone call. Call the Angel Guideline. You owe it to yourself to find out.
Call now. Our live angels counselors are standing by to give you profound, deep, personal advice and guidance to help you contact your angel. And as our gift to you, we'll send you this beautiful Marriott Hartley angel pin. Pick up the phone and call now.
My angel counselor told me about this very strong female figure, an ancestor is what she said, that she felt was my angel that was looking after me. And right from the very start, as soon as she said that, I absolutely knew who she meant. And by the end of our conversation, without me saying so, she confirmed exactly who I had in mind. It was my grandmother. I think this would be a really great experience for people that I care about, that I love, to have their own angel counselor, and you just learn. It's very enlightening. It was very rewarding. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing some more. It was great.
He gave me a feeling of direction in my life. It was like I would call it an awakening. He just said that there was work I had to do and that I would learn more about that in the future.
She has been there when I needed her, when I asked for her, or when I needed her and didn't ask for her.
Welcome back. Ernestine has finished her angel sketches. Now, why don't you tell us about each one, Ernestine?
Sure. Stephanie has a beautiful female, feminine energy presence with her who works with dancing and is encouraging Stephanie to dance. It seems that she really needs to dance, and it would bring a healing kind of experience to her, but this one comes with a great deal of love.
Oh. Does that feel good?
Yeah, it feels great.
All right. This one is a very special one with Shawnita, because it is her grandmother, Rena. Oh. And she comes in a beautiful golden light, and she's just sending her so much love, and that's why we see all of the pink around the heart and the throat. because she's sending her so much love, because it seems that right now she's dealing with some things where she needs a lot of support.
I feel good that someone is around you, your grandmother. Well, I have to show you my guardian angel, who is such a hunk. You ready? He is such a hunk. This is my guardian angel, and his name is Samson. Isn't he gorgeous? Samson. And he is around me all the time with great love and support. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Well, I want to give you something because you're so wonderful. Here is my Mariette Hartley angel pin to remind you that you're never alone either. Thank you so much, Ernestine. Isn't she great? Thank you. Thank you, dear. I really believe angels have amazing powers. They're here to help us to solve our innermost problems, even to protect us and aid us in the passage from life to death. In our next true story, we'll see how Sandra discovered that the angels can even help return us to life.
It happened 25 years ago. I was in Italy at the time, teaching school, and my father was sick. When I got home, everyone welcomed me. I gave everyone presents. My sister said, it feels like the first time we've been happy since Dad got sick. The next morning, they took me to the hospital, and when I walked in the room, his eyes were closed, and his hair had turned white. He had lost 60 pounds, and he looked like a different person, and my heart just broke.
Sandra's heart was breaking. The nurses told her it was time to leave, that he was near the end. What she really wanted to do was to hold him and tell him how much she loved him, but she did what she was told, until it broke her heart, literally. Suddenly, Sandra suffered a massive heart attack.
The first thing I became aware of, I was up at the ceiling looking down. I could see my body. The beings I saw, the light beings I saw, I felt were angels, and they were helping me. It was just like a million people hugging me and telling me how much they loved me. At one point, I looked back down, and I heard the doctor say, "We've lost her." And I thought, no, you haven't. You know, I'm here. You haven't lost me. At this point, I looked back, and my mother was trying to get in, and she was hysterical and screaming, "It's not my daughter who's dying, it's my husband." And all of a sudden, there was this like lurch in my heart, and I thought, oh no, I have to go back. And out of that light came love, total peace and comfort and love and compassion and acceptance, and all those things rolled into one.
Sandra had suffered a cardiac arrest, but she eventually was resuscitated. Unfortunately, her father died not too long after this incident. It was several months before Sandra felt her mother could talk about that trying time. But when they finally discussed it, she asked her mother if she had barged into the emergency room that night. Her mother said yes, she had. Sandra told her that she came back because she felt it was more important to be with her.
As remarkable as this story is, Mariette, it's by no means unique. As a matter of fact, in a leading poll, millions of people said that they had escaped a brush with death because of angelic intervention and reported near-death experiences similar to Sandra's.
That's really a lot of people.
That's what's so remarkable about the Angel Guideline. When you call the counselor, they'll help you learn who your angels are, take you step by step through the process to put you in touch with your angel's wisdom, counsel, and love.
Imagine having your own angel's counselor to answer any questions you may have. Now, I'm going to give you another chance to talk live to your angel's counselor. This phone call could change your life. When we come back, we're going to hear another live angel's counselor call and talk one-on-one with audience members who have had angel experiences. So stay tuned. I am so excited because this is a very exciting part of the
Stay tuned for more on The Gift of Angels.
I know I have someone to guide me and protect me wherever I'm going, make sure nothing bad happens to me.
It's a beautiful, warm, affectionate, indescribable feeling.
I have definitely sensed the presence of a very special spirit at times.
Are you tired of feeling alone in this crazy mixed up world? Are you confused about where to direct your life? Do you feel powerless in relationships? Have you ever wished that you had a friend who was always there for you and knew exactly what to do in any situation? Well, you do. Each and every one of us can find our own angel right now. The Angel Guideline has live angel counselors standing by to show you how to do it, step by step.
When you call the Angel Guideline, we'll help you to learn who your angels are, how to make contact with them, and what you could count on your angel to do for you. Whether you have a question regarding love, your job, your health, or even if you're ready to make a big change in your life, angel counselors are standing by, ready to help. Whenever the need arises, we'll be with you every step of the way, guiding you to perhaps the most extraordinary relationship of your life.
Imagine never being lonely or frightened again. Too good to be true? All it takes is a phone call. Call the Angel Guideline. You owe it to yourself to find out.
Call now. Our live angels counselors are standing by to give you profound, deep personal advice and guidance to help you contact your angel. And as our gift to you, we'll send you this beautiful Marriott Hartley angel pin. Pick up the phone and call now.
I'm afraid of flying. So I have these cherub-like angels who sit under the plane. The moment the plane takes off, there are like a dozen of them, and they carry the plane to my landing. And I swear, it's a 6-hour flight, I'm thinking about those guys the whole time, because I know they'll get me to my destination.
I've had some very close encounters with death and unexplained. No reason that I'm even here. And the only reason that I've always felt protected, even during those times. And something has brought me through. And I know today that what's brought me through has been the angels.
I'm ready to hear another Live Angels counselor call.
I know, they're so amazing. Is there anybody here? Come on. Come on down. You, yes. I don't know names here. You're going to have to tell me your name as you come down. What's your name?
My name is Stephanie.
Heather, are you there?
Yes. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, Heather.
What can I help you with?
I'm having job problems.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, first of all, I have 2 angels around you. Dawn is your motivator, and Megan is the one that's a little more on the analytical side. She is very concerned with the side of you that wants everything right. As far as your job goes, talk to Dawn. Start off by talking to Dawn. Try to find a time when there's not going to be any phones ringing, when there's not going to be any kids around. Speak to her as far as direction, because what I'm getting from her is that you're having a hard time as far as the direction that you want to go. Right. And with Megan, allow her, when you finally started getting motivated and started feeling comfortable about your direction, let Megan help you. That's when you want to turn around and talk to her about how to go about it. Talk to both of them. Dawn first, though. Okay?
Thank you, Heather.
Oh, you're welcome.
Dawn and Megan. Heather?
Yes.
Are you still there? Thank you so much for coming, honey. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope everybody has a wonderful time with their angels.
Thank you. I'm going to be calling you soon myself. It's such great advice.
You see, your angels really can help. And you know, Marriott, there was a poll done in 1993 nationally that showed that 32% of the population had had some kind of experience with angels. So I'll bet that there are some people here in this audience that have had some kind of experience with angels.
How many people here have had? Oh, this is a lot of people here. Some of you have had this experience also. Is there another person here that would like to share? Oh, all right. Well, you look like an angel, for heaven's sakes.
Thank
look
you
at this.
so
Does she look
much.
like an angel? All right. What's your name?
Thank you. My name is Vivian Kyle.
Hi, Vivian. And do you want to share your experience
Yes,
with us?
I do. About 7 years ago, I was living in Hawaii, and I had an experience that I almost lost my life. But instead, I asked for help, and my angel came to me with a message, and that was to begin to love myself and express myself. And as I opened my eyes, she was there as well. And she's been with me ever since to guide and direct me. And she directed me and guided me to meet the most wonderful people. And
does she have a name?
Her name is Love.
Oh, that's
yes.
so nice.
And so with that, she began to help me, and other angels came to help me to learn to paint them and bring messages to other people.
So you paint angels now?
Yes, I do.
Oh, thank
and
you.
it's such an honor.
Wow. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. This has been an incredible show, hasn't it? For me, too. I want to thank all of our guests. Thank you all for joining us, and particularly Letitia. I want to thank you. Thank you for joining me today and sharing your experience about this incredible phenomenon, and of course, introducing us to the Angels Guideline.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the lovely pin. And I think our audience deserves a hand for having had the courage to explore the realm of angels with us.
For many of us, angels are real and play such an important part in our lives. My own belief and personal experience with angels has added such a tremendous amount of comfort and joy to my life. They are here, giving me guidance and inspiration. And I truly believe your angel is out there too, ready to give you the support that's been missing in your life. All you have to do is reach out and open your heart. Your angel is waiting to embrace you now. I hope you've enjoyed the gift of the angels. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
I realize that there are angels in the form of people who help you, you know, from time to time when you need it.
I think she's helped me to be able to build the temple within myself and therefore to stand on my own 2 feet in the center of myself.
There are certain people that I look at and I think they're like angels. You know, not with wings or anything like that, you know, but just people by virtue of the way that they are.
I love angels.
The preceding program, The Gift of Angels, was a paid advertisement for the Angel Guideline, brought to you by the Calling Card Company, Incorporated.